Welcome back to a new episode of Lives on Wheels. Before diving into today's protagonist, we invite you to subscribe to our channel if you want to see more videos like this. For you, it's a small gesture, but for us it's vital to continue sharing the stories of figures who have left their mark on collective memory. Today we recount the life of the man who allowed the Moto Guzzi eagle to fly into legend. Today we talk about Giorgio Parodi. Behind every great name, there is often a silent soul, someone who, far from the spotlight, makes the protagonist's success possible. Without Steve Wozniak, there would be no Apple. Without Uber iWorks, Mickey Mouse might never have been born. Without Nikola Tesla's technical genius, Edison's electrical industry would have remained a dream. Historic partnerships are a common thread linking visionary brilliance to practical ingenuity, the public face to the operational mind, ambition to pragmatism. In the history of Moto Guzzi, one of the most glorious icons of Made in Italy, there is also a protagonist who's often forgotten, Giorgio Parodi. If Carlo Guzzi gave the company its name and face, Parodi was the pillar who turned a dream into reality, financing, supporting and steering the enterprise towards success. Yet, like many of those essential but discreet figures, his name remains in the shadow of the legend. Today we want to talk about him because without Giorgio Parodi, Moto Guzzi would never have taken flight. Behind every great success, there is always a discreet but decisive figure. Just as an eagle cannot fly without its wings, Moto Guzzi would never have become the icon we know without Giorgio Parodi. If Carlo Guzzi represents the creative and technical mind, the great designer, Giorgio Parodi was the entrepreneurial engine that allowed that eagle to soar, turning a dream into an industrial and global reality. Giorgio Parodi's story is that of a man who preferred to fly low with his heart, even when destiny led him to soar high in the skies. Born on June 11, 1897 in Venice, a city of harbours and departures, where the Parodi family was for business, Giorgio carried himself like someone who doesn't seek the limelight but rather looks for ways to be of service. He was a man of steel from Liguria, reserved and solid, one of those Ligurians who speak little and do much, letting their actions spread their wings. Giorgio was a man of the skies. He was a sports and military pilot, a master of the art of flying, and in love with the eagle that would later become his emblem. His aeronautical feats spoke for themselves. Medals for valor, speed records, international victories, but Giorgio, with his self-deprecating air, he loved calling himself lettuce to underscore his aversion to the spotlight, preferred to leave the trophies to others and focus on what he could achieve next. During World War I, he volunteered as a seaplane pilot in the Royal Navy, showcasing his talent and dedication. Aboard the Royal Navy's seaplanes, he not only witnessed the flaming skies, but forged a deep bond with extraordinary men who shared his fever for speed and mechanics. It was during those years of fierce battles and daring flights that fate led him to meet Carlo Guzzi, the brilliant engineer, and other aviators like Giovanni Rovelli and Stefano Baglietto, united by an unyielding passion for aviation and engines. Among those skies, where death often loomed close like a faithful shadow, they accomplished not only bold feats but also forged a brotherhood that would leave a lasting legacy. When the roar of weapons ceased, Parodi returned to the ground with a dream, to transform friendship and shared genius into something tangible. Thus, in 1921, the city of Genoa witnessed the birth of the Società Anonima Moto Guzzi, a company that bore the symbol of the eagle with outstretched wings at its heart, in memory of Rovelli and Baglietto, who had fallen too soon. Thus was born the Società Anonima Moto Guzzi, a company dedicated to the design, production and sale of motorcycles, as well as other activities related to the metalworking industry. Among the founding partners were Giorgio's father, Emanuele Vittorio Parodi, a renowned Genoese shipowner, Giorgio himself, his cousin Angelo Gaetano Belviglieri, a close collaborator of the Parodi family, and Carlo Guzzi, who had served as his mechanic during their time in the Royal Navy Aviation Corps. Like an eagle, Giorgio moved between vision and pragmatism. He knew how to soar high to envision the future, but also how to glide down to reality to manage the enterprise. Carlo Guzzi was the mechanical genius. Giorgio Parodi was the visionary manager. While Guzzi designed the motorcycles that would change history, Parodi secured financing, struck deals, and ensured that everything ran like a perfectly oiled machine. Moto Guzzi became a legend thanks to their complementarity, but Parodi, true to his nature, stayed away from the spotlight. While Carlo Guzzi focused on the design and development of motorcycles, Giorgio Parodi handled the entrepreneurial aspects. He brought the company to market, established connections, managed sales, and ensured the financial stability needed for expansion. The company's original name was initially meant to be GP Guzzi Parodi, reflecting the contributions of both founders. However, for marketing reasons, they opted for the more immediate and appealing name Moto Guzzi. Despite his central role, Parodi chose to remain behind the scenes, allowing Carlo Guzzi to be the public face of the company. This helped build the romantic image of the brilliant designer whose name the company bore but obscured Parodi's crucial contributions. In 1928, Parodi left another indelible mark by founding the Aero Club of Genoa. The flight school, which still bears his name, became a training ground for aviators, while at the Lido di Albaro, his days became a workshop for introducing young people to aviation. The following year, in 1929, the Canottieri Moto Guzzi Rowing Club was established, another testament to Parodi's contagious passion. Here, among the oars and waves, a generation of Olympic athletes and champions was nurtured. In 1935, Parodi, recalled to service as a pilot, departed for Italian East Africa, where he flew with the 105th Squadron on reconnaissance and support missions for troops on the ground. Returning in 1936, he married Elena Caisdei Conti di Pierlas, who would give him 3 children. When World War II broke out, Giorgio was once again called to serve as a pilot and left for East Africa. He returned to Italy gravely wounded, but his courage remained unbroken. During the German occupation, he protected Moto Guzzi employees from deportation through cunning and risky negotiations. He collaborated with the National Liberation Committee and ensured that the factory remained intact, providing work and hope even during the darkest days. After the war, the fallen of Moto Guzzi were commemorated with a plaque that still stands at the entrance of the factory. Parodi, by then a well-established leader of the company and of the EVP shipping company founded by his father, remained at the helm until 1955. However, in 1954 he suffered the loss of his beloved wife, Elena, and the grief consumed him. His heart gave out on August 18, 1955, leaving behind his children Andrea, Roberto, and Marina, the last surviving descendant. Giorgio Parodi did not seek the spotlight, but his legacy still shines today. Without him, the Moto Guzzi Eagle would never have taken flight. His life, suspended between sky and earth, is that of a man who gave wings to the dreams of others, always staying true to his humble and grounded nature. It is not necessary to be in the limelight to make history. Sometimes it is enough to fly high while never forgetting where you started. Under his leadership, Moto Guzzi achieved everything. 3,329 official race victories, 14 world speed titles, and 11 tourist trophies, not to mention the motorcycles that captured the hearts of generations of Italians and beyond. But Giorgio didn't stop there. In 1928, he founded the Aero Club of Genoa, and the following year the Canottieri Moto Guzzi Rowing Club, a source of pride for Italian sports. Although his name is not as well known as Carlo Guzzi's, his role is fundamental to understanding the origins and success of Moto Guzzi. In recent years, efforts have been made to honor Parodi's memory. In 2021, on the occasion of Moto Guzzi's centenary, the city of Genoa dedicated a statue to Giorgio Parodi, finally paying tribute to the co-founder of one of the world's most beloved Italian brands. Giorgio Parodi is a symbol of that unique combination of vision, dedication, and discretion that often makes the difference between a brilliant idea and a successful enterprise. Giorgio Parodi embodies those figures who work far from the spotlight, but without whom success would not be possible. Like wings to an eagle, his contribution was indispensable in enabling Moto Guzzi to soar high and become a global icon. Remembering Giorgio Parodi means acknowledging that behind every great achievement, there is always someone bearing the weight of flight, silent but essential. Without him, the Moto Guzzi Eagle would never have taken flight.